Welcome to Storytime. Sora's back in the land of dragons and sees someone in an organization cloak. Mulan shows up looking for him too. Sora sees Riku, who still isn't showing his face, but Sora recognizes his sword, and he mistakes him for an enemy while the two fight off some Heartless. Riku runs off, and Sora and Mulan see a huge Heartless heading towards the city. The group sneaks into the castle where they see another hooded figure Sora assumes is Riku again. It's actually Xigbar, who is the one Mulan had been looking for. After seeing that the Emperor is fine, the team fights the Storm Chaser. Shang saves Mulan from the creature as it falls, and we all know there's no better flirting than imminent danger flirting. The Emperor tells Sora that Riku had visited him to warn that one of the dragons in the area had been turned into a Heartless by the organization, but that Sora would have it handled. Mulan asks him to give Shang a vacation. He denies her, but instead asks her to join his Imperial Guard. Sora heads to Beast's castle, where Belle and Beast have planned a hot date. They're about to have a romantic dance when Xaldin crashes the party, but it's just a cover so he can take the Beast's rose. Belle tries to calm the Beast down, but he snaps and tells her and Sora to leave since he's never going to change.
Look at me. Look. This is what I am. When you first got here, I tried to change. But I was only fooling myself. I can't be any different. I'll always be a beast, so I should live like a beast, with no one, alone. Goodbye, Belle.
Sora convinces Beast to fight to get the rose back and cure everyone else in the castle. Xaldin's waiting for them, hoping to use the fight to turn Beast into a Heartless and nobody. Xaldin says he'll leave, but Beast can only choose Belle or the rose. He of course chooses Belle, who frees herself, grabs the rose, and runs. Sora and Beast engage Xaldin and defeat him. Beast struggles with telling Belle his feelings, though honestly having everyone watching probably doesn't help. The two finally get their dance, and the curse looks like it's bound to be broken soon. Next up is the Underworld, where Hercules is still run down. Hades is hosting his own games in the Underdrome, and threatens to hurt Meg if Herc doesn't participate. Auron's in the tournament too, but he doesn't seem to remember Sora, and Hades is controlling him using an adorable Auron action figure. Hercules fights Auron in the finals, while Sora, Donald, and Goofy look for the statue. They grab it and reach Auron just as he's about to finish off Herc, and he gets his free will back. Hades sends Megra to the River of Death, and Hercules jumps in after her. Sora and Auron try to fight Hades, but he's invincible in the Underworld. That is, unless a true hero shows up, and in sacrificing himself, Hercules has just won his membership card. Auron goes back off into the Underworld, and Phil kind of in a roundabout way, admits that Sora, Donald, and Goofy may finally be heroes.
Say it again!
On second thought, if those are your hero faces, you still got a lot of work to do.
Hey, what do you mean?
Go away!
Phil!
In recognition of their help, the gods create constellations of our heroes and they keep moving. In Port Royal, Sora sees Jack being chased by cursed pirates, which means someone must have stolen the Aztec gold again. Elizabeth says Will went to Isla de Muerta to check and hasn't returned. The group boards a Black Pearl and finds Will, who is attacked by an organization member. On their way back, Luxord pays them a visit with a Heartless that feeds on greed. They beat it back and Luxord invokes Parley.
Excuse me?
Barley?
It's a bit of the pirate's code. Anyone who invokes parley must not be harmed till negotiations are complete.
This is no time for rules.
True. But as we're honorable pirates, we should always stick to the code. Alright, you. Out with it.
Of course, he immediately double-crosses Jack and blows him and Sora back to the island. Jack's been cursed by the Heartless, but Sora and Co seem to be immune since they're from another world.
'Cause we're not greedy. What are you looking at?
Will and Elizabeth pick them up and they go back to Port Royal, returning the medallions Luxord stole and exposing the Heartless so they can defeat it. Luxord flees and the group takes the gold up to the middle of the ocean so they can dump it. Jack asks for payment for his help, so Sora gives him the Keyblade just to mess with him. So hey, remember the peddler who had Jafar's lamp back in Agrabah? Well, he's just the worst, having tracked down the lamp again and freeing Jafar. Iago leads Sora and Aladdin to the desert ruins where Jafar is run off to. There's a sandstorm brewing, but Genie takes care of it and Carpet ferries the team around the ruins while they chase Jafar. In the end, it was all a ruse though. Iago was coerced by Jafar to distract Aladdin so he could go after the palace. Back in Agrabah, Sora finds a peddler who claims an organization member has been funding him and led him to Jafar so he could be turned into a Heartless. Jafar has Jasmine chained up, and when the heroes show up, he turns back into his Genie form and causes some collateral damage. Sora and Aladdin go on the attack and defeat him. Genie restores the town and Iago promises to be harder to be a good friend.
I want to be a good friend like Genie, but I can't do anything to help you. What kind of a friend is that?
Oh no, it's not like that, Iago. Friends don't have to do stuff.
As long as we have fun hanging out together, that's all that matters.
So, what do you guys do for fun?
We do sex.
That's not quite what I meant.
But like, for real guys, y'all gotta get rid of that peddler because he's causing nothing but problems. In Christmas Town, Sora finds Jack Skellington in his Santa outfit with a bunch of presents, which looks pretty suspicious, but Jack assures them that he's done with Christmas. They bring the presents to Santa, who says there's more that have been stolen. They assume Lock, Shock, and Barrel took them because, of course, they claim to be helping Dr. Finkelstein build them a new friend. Everyone goes back to Halloween Town, claiming the presents from the Heartless. Finkelstein's experiment has been stolen as well, so Jack thinks of using decoy presents to draw out the thieves. The thief actually turns out to be Finkelstein's robot, who was, and I'm going to remind you that this is Kingdom Hearts, so just brace yourself, trying to find a heart by getting Christmas presents because presents are how you give your heart to other people. I mean, if it's a good enough explanation for Sora, I guess it's good enough for me. Sally gives Jack the present of her love, and Sora realizes he's never actually given Kairi anything. Besides, you know, keeping her heart safe in his body and turning himself into a Heartless to free her. Then again, diamonds are pretty good too. Sora heads back to the Pride Lands, where the hyenas tell him Simba's not doing so great as the new king. The lionesses are fed up with him, and when Sora sees Scar's ghost, it doesn't look like a good omen. Simba feels crushed by the weight of how good and beloved a king his father was, and he's afraid to make any decisions. They ask Rafiki about the ghost, but he does everything he can to be unhelpful, though he does theorize that the ghost is feeding on Simba's uncertainty. They go to ask the hyenas, but the ghost appears and Simba runs. Timon and Pumbaa guess that he's back at their oasis, where the ghost is still harassing him. Sora, Donald, and Goofy pretend to be the ghost and berate Simba to make him angry, which seems like kind of a mean plan, but it actually works.
The hesitant king will one day lose all his friends.
King Simba the Doctor.
Worried by a silly old ghost.
Ooh, Simba, the do-nothing king. No!
Try and stop me.
Simba defeats the ghost, but there's a bunch more to be dealt with at Pride Rock. Once the ghosts are down, an absolutely massive Heartless spawns, but Sora and Simba shout over the Colossus it and save the Pride Lands. Going back to Hollow Bastion, they see some of the Heartless from inside the computer out in the real world. The MCP is still around, and it's taking control of the Heartless manufactory and some Seeker of Darkness once used to create his emblem Heartless, as well as turning Hollow Bastion's defense system against Leon. Heading back to the castle, Sora is confronted by Yuna, Riku, and Pain, who have finally figured out that Donald lied to them and there's not actually any treasure. They decide to rob Sora instead, but after shaking him down, he apparently doesn't have anything good, so they decide Sora's a cool guy and they'll just root for him instead.
Leon told us the whole story. He said your journey's been pretty rough.
So it wouldn't really be right if we took your things. We'll root for you.
Sid and Merlin team up to develop a program to fight the MCP and upgrade Tron. Leon can't get a hold of Tron, so Sora, Donald, and Goofy go back into the computer to find him. Tron's being swarmed by Heartless on the game grid, so the team saves him. They grab a solar saber to the computer's core, where they face down Sark. The MCP tries to get Tron on his side one more time, then resurrects Sark to fight for him. Sora and friends win, and Tron finally gains full control of the system.
Isn't this what users do when they're sorry to say goodbye?
It's a first for me.
Gosh, Tron, it's like a promise that we'll see each other again real soon.
Okay, well then.
With the town finally for realsies safe, Aerith reminds everyone that Hollow Bastion used to be called Radiant Garden, and it seems as good a time as any to go back to using that. Sora runs into Sephiroth. Sephiroth wonders if he can gain control of the Keyblade by defeating Sora. Sora holds his own, but only Cloud can defeat him for good. Sora goes to grab him, and Cloud and Sephiroth have a heated battle. Sephiroth claims Cloud can never really get rid of his darkness, but Tifa arrives to help fight and claims his friends will keep the darkness held down for him.
He'll never let go of the darkness.
He doesn't have to. He just needs someone to surround him with light. The darkness will be there, Sephiroth, but in a place you can't reach.
Cloud and Sephiroth vanish, and Tifa thanks Sora for helping while she goes off to look for Cloud again. Before leaving Radiant Garden, Sora pays Winnie the Pooh's storybook a visit. Pooh's forgotten all his friends in the 100 Acre Wood, and Sora too. The Heartlets have stolen a bunch of pages from the book, but Sora's gotten them back and repairs it. With each restored page, Sora is able to introduce one of Pooh's friends to him. Finally, all his memories come back, and everyone comes together, and Phil definitely doesn't cry as Pooh begs Sora not to go.
I was thinking, perhaps there's a way to make it so you won't go away.
You mean a way to make me stay?
Yes. Would there be such a thing as a way to make it so you don't go away again?
Pooh. Don't worry. I promise I'll come back and visit you now and then.
Could you make it now and now instead? That seems a bit better to me. Sora, if I go looking for you, will I find you?
I'll always be with you, right here. You don't have to go anywhere. Just stay here, and you can see me anytime you want.
You mean I just have to stay right here?
Yep, that's all.
Would you promise?
Promise.
I promise too.
I just want to remind you once more that I'm definitely not crying. There's a strange reading coming from Disney Castle, so Sora heads over. A portal has appeared near the cornerstone. Once inside it, Sora finds himself in the Keyblade graveyard, where Master Xehanort had his final clash with Aqua, Terra, and Ventus. He sees Terra's armor, left kneeling where his will gave out over a decade ago. The armor comes alive, sensing Sora's Keyblade, initially believing it to be Riku, whom Terra gifted the power to. When it realizes he's someone else, it believes he may be Xehanort and attacks him. Though its attacks are relentless, filled with the rage that Terra left behind, Sora is able to stand against it. Satisfied, the armor returns to its slumber, waiting for the day it can take its revenge.